Hunter Biden, who has been in the headlines again recently. During the last presidential debate, then Vice President Biden was asked if there was anything inappropriate or unethical about his son's relationships, business dealings in China and or Ukraine. The president said nothing was unethical. He went on to say, my son has not made money in terms of this thing about what you're talking about, China. Does the White House stand by that comment that the then Vice President made?
We absolutely stand by the President's comment, and I would point you to the reporting on this, which referenced statements that we made at the time that we gave to the Washington Post, who worked on this story. But as you know, I don't speak for Hunter Biden, so there's not more I can say on that.
Questions and controversy continues today about Hunter Biden, your son's.
There is no controversy about my son. It's all a lie. It's a flat lie because the president has nothing else to run on. If you notice, while American people are talking about what's happening to their families, he has no plan. In the debate, he has no plan. Everything from the Wall Street Journal, every other major news outlet has said what he's saying is simply not true about my son.
This is going to bring up the supply in the short term, but it's not, a long-term solution. And, one analyst has said that if the market maintains a structural deficit for a long period of time, releasing reserves might actually keep prices higher. So if this does not work in the way that you think it's going to work, will the administration stop releasing 1 million barrels a day?
We will I won't speak to what we might do in the hypothetical depending on where the market goes. What I will say broadly is, of course, we would always adjust our strategy to do what is most effective to bring prices down. What I would say about the long term, to your question about the long term, is, and I think you heard Brian articulate this really well, and of course the president spoke to it very powerfully today too, which is this ultimately shows that dependence on fossil fuels, dependence on foreign oil is not in the sustainable, long-term best interest of the United States.
The circumstances in global oil markets today and global energy markets today provide the clearest possible signal why the United States needs to do everything it can to accelerate toward energy security and true energy independence. And the only way that we can ultimately do that is to reduce and eliminate our dependence on fossil fuels.
Under my plan, which is before the Congress now, we can take advantage of the next generation of electric vehicles that a typical driver will save about $80 a month from not having to pay gas at the pump. If your home is powered by safer, cheaper, cleaner electricity like solar or heat pumps, you can save about $500 a month on average.
Your last announcement there. When you say the other forms of documentation, it will be available next year. What are you talking about?
So right now we're talking about new passport books. Of course, there are passport cards. There are other.
Talking about visas. Will foreigners be able to use this X if they're applying for U.S. visas?
So not at the moment. Right now we are focused on U.S. Identity documents, including in the first instance passport books. But over the course of the next year, we'll be updating our systems to allow for other form of U.S. identity documents.
Okay, so but only for Americans right now.
At this
moment.
does
not apply to foreigners seeking entry.
It does not at the moment.
Kate, I want to ask you again about the president's comments today when he was asked about the information that Putin is being left in the dark by his advisors. He seemed much less confident in the intelligence than you were from the podium and other top officials here. When he was asked about it today, he said it's an open question. There's a lot of speculation. He seems to be self-isolating. He said, but we don't have hard evidence. You said from the podium, we have information that Putin felt misled by the Russian military. Why the disconnect?
I don't see a disconnect there. We were clear yesterday that we shared a piece of information that helps paint a picture about how this has been a strategic failure for Russia.
The president said there's a lot of speculation. He didn't say we have hard evidence, we're confident.
And there is plenty of discussion, and that's part of what we did yesterday was put additional information into the public sphere, into the conversation. I don't think there's a disconnect between those two things. The president was making statement about where things currently stand, where he understands things to currently stand. I don't think that's in any way at odds with what we said yesterday.
Following up on Kristen's line of inquiry as well, I know Hunter Biden is not a government employee. You don't speak for him. Has the president read these reports? Do you guys take them to him when the inquiries come in? And what has been his reaction to them?
I don't have anything additional to add on this from the podium, but thank you. Caitlin? And we are certainly focused on continuing to assert order at the border.
Do you have any updates on the president's efforts to prevent real food shortages sparked by the war?
So we're it's a issue of a top focus, and we will have more to say on that issue in the coming days, but I don't have a specific announcement for you today.
Tonight, reports that the Justice Department's investigation into the tax affairs of President Biden's son, Hunter, is intensifying. Sources telling ABC News that in recent weeks, a grand jury in Wilmington has heard from a parade of witnesses about payments Hunter Biden received while on the board of the Ukrainian gas company, Burisma, and also about how he paid his taxes in recent years. Biden served on the Burisma board when his father was vice president, something he's admitted was a mistake.
Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
Federal prosecutors are also looking into how Hunter Biden reported money from business deals in China.